Santita. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Santita. So, on behalf of the board of Rainbow Push, as chair of the board, on behalf of Chairman John Graves, Citizenship Education Fund, on behalf of Dr. Julianne Malvo for Push Excel, on behalf of Yusuf Jackson, the chair of Push, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce to you in this way someone who many of you know. He is, effective immediately, the new president and CEO of Rainbow Push Coalition, the incomparable Dr. Freddie Haynes.
Let me first express my appreciation to the outstanding leadership of Rainbow Push, all of the board chairs who have gifted us not only with their leadership, but their constancy and service. We thank you so much for who you are and for all that you mean to us. I want to thank especially Attorney C.K. Hoffler. I want to thank John Graves. I want to thank my homegirl, Julianne Malvo, for their incomparable leadership, along with Yusuf Jackson, of the various boards of this extraordinary civil rights and freedom fighting organization. You all are gifts. I salute you and thank God for each and every one of you. I must also appreciatively acknowledge the fact that I'm standing here on some amazing prophetic shoulders. I'm standing here on the shoulders of the pastor who licensed and ordained me a true protege of Medgar Evers and Martin Luther King Jr., the amazing prophet Amos himself, Dr. Amos C. Brown, the pastor of Third Baptist Church in San Francisco. Thank you so much, Dr. Amos Brown, for your presence and for your guidance and for your wisdom. You all are here. I'm also excited and quite surprised, but he always shows up to see the one and only legend, iconic, Dr. Jeremiah Wright Jr. You're right. You've always been right, and you're still right. And when the nation gets it right, they will listen to your prophetic truth. Thank you so much. Dr. Wright is one of the founders of the great Samuel DeWitt Wagner Conference, where I've been privileged to share as co-chair. It is such a delight to see Dr. Jeremiah Wright in the house. What a gift and what a blessing he is. I must also extend special thanks to the host this afternoon. Dr. Brazier, of course, is a part of a legendary family. This church is iconic, and so we salute Dr. Brazier and this great church for hosting us, for blessing us, and we're grateful. Thank you so much, Dr. Brazier, and your wonderful wife. Got to do this because Roland Martin means a whole lot to us. And Roland Martin always gives us a voice as well as a platform. And so Roland Martin, thank you so much. You always are there for us. And we always want to make sure we give love to Roland Martin, our black media. We can't make it without you expressing truth on our behalf. Thank you, Roland Martin. Now, my life has been greatly enriched and blessed with beauty and love, wisdom and guidance from a wonderful wife. And so I want to introduce you all to my beautiful wife, Deborah P. Haynes, who has gifted me. The Jackson family, we will forever owe. Thank you so much to the Jackson family. Thank you, Mrs. Jackson, because no one knows but God the sacrifices that you have made, that you have generously given of your husband and your children for the love and liberation of our people and this nation. And so I thank God for Mrs. Jackson. I thank God for the phenomenal children who continue to carry the mantle of prophetic witness. But also must salute and say how proud I am of our congressman from the 1st Congressional District, the one and only Jonathan Jackson. We salute him. We thank God for him. All of the children, and all of them are gifts to us, and for that we indeed are grateful. Now, I must say a word of thanks to my honorable homie, the one and only Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is a trailblazer. Kamala Harris is a game changer. Kamala Harris has demonstrated with dignity, competence, and brilliance what it means to be a supportive servant leader, in that she supports the president. That's her role. She has her voice, and she never has forgotten where she has come from. They may lie on her about her record, but even the devil in hell knows that Kamala Harris is about that life. And so I salute and thank God that Kamala Harris has shared with us on this historic occasion. The Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson Sr. I stand here on his shoulders because no one with sense would try to stand in his shoes. His shoes are too large. They've taken us so far from the streets of Greenville, South Carolina, to the south side of Chicago, to the road to Damascus, to the cold mountains of Russia, to those who were struggling and suffering in Armenia. He's been right there, speaking truth to power, empowering the powerless. His shoes are quite large. And so, Reverend Jackson, thank you for where your shoes have taken us. Thank you that your shoes have injected in the veins of a people who have suffered from what Franz Fanon called systemic negation. And yet you dare to tell us that we are somebody. And as you gave us a sense of somebodyness, you also gave us the power to declare, respect me, protect me, never ever neglect me, because I am somebody. I am God's child. Thank you, Reverend Jackson, because your shoes have gone there. Your shoes have taken us there. But not only have your shoes taken us spaces reminding us that we are somebody, but thank you that in 1984 and 1988, you dared to have a nation that had too much death dealing, a nation that had so many of us in despair because of the pushback against the progress of the civil rights movement. And yet you took the baton of freedom fighting from the hand of the drum major for justice, Martin Luther King Jr., and you dared to say to a nation, go ahead and keep hope alive. And so because of you, hope has been kept alive. We thank you, Reverend Jackson, because you have brilliantly continued the prophetic tradition of reuniting in holy wedlock Jesus and justice. He recognized, Reverend Jackson does, that our Jesus was born homeless in Bethlehem. Our Jesus had to deal with a death sentence of genocide through public policy. Our Jesus found himself going from Bethlehem to the hood in Nazareth, where he was able to hide there in North Africa. Our Jesus found himself then growing up in Nazareth that was so hood that somebody said, can any good thing come out of Nazareth? And if NWA was rapping in the days of Jesus, they would have dropped an album entitled Straight Out of Nazareth. Our Jesus gave free health care to those with pre-existing conditions. Our Jesus took a 2-piece and 5 biscuits and gave food to those who were food insecure. Our Jesus led a march on Washington. We like to call it a Palm Sunday processional. No, it was a march. It was a demonstration against the Roman occupation and oppression. And our Jesus, when the crowd told the kids to chill out and quit making noise, Jesus said no. The only way to get attention of the power structure is to make some noise. And Jesus made noise until he was lynched on a cross on Calvary. And when he got lynched on a cross on Calvary, the good news is, y'all know I'm a Baptist preacher, Dr. Frazier, so I got to go there early Sunday morning. God raised him from the dead, and the brilliant theologian Jurgen Moltmann says that the resurrection is a protest symbol. So every time we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus, it's a symbol of protest. And what Reverend Jackson did was say, faith without works is dead. It's not enough to shout in church on Sunday. You got to hit the streets during the week. You got to speak truth to power in the corporate suites. Thank you, Reverend Jackson, for reuniting Jesus with justice. But not only that, thank you so much, Reverend Jackson, because we find ourselves sadly in a day where the courts are doing everything in their power to remind us that everything legal ain't necessarily just. Yes, what has been passed by the Supreme Court is now law. It is legal, but we all know that everything that's been legal has not been just. Slavery was legal, but God knows it wasn't just. Jim and Jane pro-apartheid was legal, but God knows it was not just. Banning affirmative action may be legal, but God knows it is not just. But I'm glad I'm standing on the shoulders of a Jesse Jackson who says when they ban affirmative action, we've still got action that is affirmative. Our action that is affirmative can push this administration to expand a Supreme Court that is not normal. Yes, we have our own affirmative action, and that is we can register and vote, mobilize our vote, get out the vote, and then turn them out. In the name of Parliament Funkadelic, we're going to turn this mother out because we've got action that is affirmative, even though you try to ban affirmative action. Yes, I'm simply trying to say thank you, Reverend Jackson. You've shown us how to do it. I guess I'll quit with this, and that is all of us know. And if you don't know, now you know that Reverend Jesse Jackson in 1988 saw during the Democratic primary that there was something unjust about the fact that he had received these votes but was not receiving representation. What did Reverend Jackson do? He changed the rules. I'm about to shout you. He changed the rules. Reverend Jackson changed the rules in 88. And because he changed the rules in 88, in 08, Barack Obama won the Democratic nomination. Don't miss the shout. I gotta help you one more time. Because he changed the rules in 88, he opened up a door of possibilities in 2008. If we are going to honor the legacy of Jesse Jackson, stand on his shoulders, y'all. It's rule changing time. It's time to change the rules until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. It's rule-changing time. We've got to change the rules until structures and systems of injustice are brought down. It's rule-changing time. Because if we change the rules, we will get rid of economic exploitation. And as Reverend Jackson would often say, we won't get charity because we'll already have parity. Preach, Jesse Jackson. We're about to change these rules because when we change the rules, we in a real sense will recognize if you're going to ban books but not ban AK-47s, then we need to change the rules. It's rule-changing time. It's rule-changing time. And so Rainbow Push, it's about to go down like 4 flat tires because we are standing not in the shoes of Jesse Jackson, but on the shoulders of Jesse Jackson. That means we should be able to see further. That means we should be able to stand taller because it's rule-changing time. It's law-changing time. And we're going to change laws and ensure that we have those in power who do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with our God. We're going to change these rules. And when we change these rules, we shall overcome. Y'all didn't feel that. So I got to go with Kendrick Lamar. All my life I had to fight. But if God's got us, we gonna be all right because we are about to change the rules.